Well, the cat ladies for Kamala are not going to want to learn about this one.
Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it?
Yeah, that's usually not what you hear during a routine police stop, but that's where we are at the season finale of America, as right now we have allegations of illegal Haitian immigrants eating people's pets. Yes, this is where we are in the political discourse of the United States, which couldn't be more crazy, couldn't be more toxic, as we are going to be doing our best to make sense of all of this madness and insanity, as the Daily Mail literally has an article about residents that are claiming that Haitian migrants are decapitating and eating ducks in the park as well. This, as a small town in Ohio, got a huge explosion of migrants. Why? Well, because of the Build Back Better Bidenomics open border policies that haven't really worked for the average American, as Joe Biden, the man that has opened up the U.S. border, that has told people, come on in, anyone and everyone is welcome. We don't even check identifications, and we'll pay you in order to do this, as he has redistributed a lot of people's tax dollars in order to help facilitate a larger human trafficking operation, along with a lot of Catholic charity organizations and NGOs that have literally, step by step, implemented a plan to bring as many people over from developing countries into the United States. As, of course, Joe Biden here, seen here, enjoying the beautiful sun during, once again, one of his vacation days, as the President of the United States has spent 40% of his presidency on vacation. Yes, out of the 1,336 days that he has been in office, 532 of them have been on vacation. For the average Joe, that would amount to 48 years worth of vacation time that Biden has taken in less than 4 years. As Old Yeller's policies here, especially when it comes to the border, have absolutely crippled many small towns and have severely negatively impacted them in more ways than one. Not just financially, as of course Kamala Harris is essentially promising to do the same thing, as currently she is, according to some reports, secluded in a hotel room with a Trump impersonator. This, as a lot of people are waiting for the larger presidential debate that might actually discuss immigration, which Kamala Harris has been an open border policy advocate for, as she's even bragging about the larger human trafficking that she is facilitating, as Elon Musk just tweeted on Twitter that, vote for Kamala if you want this to happen to your neighborhood. As the borders are that the corporate media likes to forget about, Kamala Harris was bragging about importing people into small towns, as she previously had this to say on ABC News.
That is why, also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection.
This says today a lot of people are saying our pets need protection here, as of course we have this latest allegation going around that is being shared by a lot of right-wing circles, as the Daily Dot is reporting that this is, quote, a false claim because of some nuanced point here that doesn't really relate to what we're being told here. Again, we'll get into if this story is true or not in a little bit, but it's also important to note here that these are not the only reports that we are getting, as there are a lot of individuals, specifically in Springfield, Ohio, a town that has seen 20,000 Haitians imported into it under Kamala Harris's plan that she is bragging about. And there are a lot of unconfirmed reports of pets, birds, and other wildlife being hunted for game. As it's important to note, it is customary in other cultures to eat what we consider pets here in the United States. Predominantly, this was also a big shock to me in Korea, where a lot of people were telling me to eat dogs, which I refused to. And then I went to the dog cafe, which isn't what you think it is. And it's a cafe where a bunch of dogs run around. I did a live stream there with the Beanie Man there too. But anyway, I digress. as the Biden and Harris administration has reportedly flown in 320,000 unvetted Haitian migrants into the United States, as they have also implemented a special protective status to prevent them from ever being deported. This, as I think it's fair to say, the Haitians have a different culture. As in many parts of the United States, there are little Haitian communities. There's also one specifically here in Miami. There's a big Haitian community in Tijuana as well, but they represent a lot of individuals from the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, explaining why a lot of their people are very transient. This, as of course, it's also important to note here, there are larger civil struggles now unfolding inside of Haiti that have created a lot of instability in that country. There's also a long history of a lot of exploitation, specifically from the Clintons of Haiti, that have used it for their own personal benefit and have enriched themselves through their natural resources that they have exploited from that particular country. And if you look at what the Clintons particularly did with Haiti, if you look at the larger scams that have been run on Haiti, not just by the Clintons, but a lot of other kind of Western institutions, and then you could kind of see, yeah, that's probably why they are the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. There's also an overwhelming amount of violence that happens in that country, and Haitian's education system is ranked 177th globally, with just a literacy rate of 61%. There's also a lot of concerns, especially when it comes to STDs, and doing some reporting on this particular matter, especially covering a lot of the migrant kind of caravans that have moved through Latin America. A lot of these individuals are like, I don't want to be around that. And because of how poor, because of how violent, a lot of people flee Haiti, looking for, of course, better prospects and a better life, particularly here in the United States. Now comes the problem where there are reports of the larger kind of clash of cultures and backgrounds between two new groups of individuals that the federal government has put together. As of course, what's happening in Springfield, Ohio is very eye-opening. It's very jarring also for the citizenry that currently lives there, as of course we have reports like this from local residents that aren't that happy about their new neighbors.
Done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard, and I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed, but who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay.
This has a lot of longtime residents of communities that they have grew up in are choosing to leave, rather than, of course, deal with the government's influx of this larger problem that they literally put on their front lawns. Now, imagine growing up somewhere, living somewhere, calling it your home for the rest of your life, and then having individuals that are protected literally be able to get away with heinous actions and crimes as you're footing the bill and your taxes are being used to finance this larger kind of immigration effort, which is going to work out really well for the Democrats when it comes to the potential voters that they get out of all of this. As the United States is also dealing with a significant kind of population reduction as birth rates are falling, and local populations are told to foot the bill for new people that are just literally being imported in here. As the New York Times has a very interesting case on this particular matter, as they wrote a very kind of convoluted, strange article that's titled "How an Ohio Town Landed in the Middle of the Immigration Debate," with a byline that reads, "Jobs attracted thousands of Haitians to Springfield, and employers were ecstatic, but then an immigrant driver was involved in a fatal school bus crash, and J.D. Vance entered the fray." Now, I don't know what JD Vance has to do with any of this, as of course there are also a lot of reports of insurance rates going up dramatically and skyrocketing in the town ever since their importation of Haitian migrants that a lot of people conclude were responsible for this, as one man is reporting that his insurance company is describing to him that rates are going up because car accidents are going up in his area. As a lot of people make the correlation with, of course, the new migrants that have moved in, as now the population of that town is 1/3 Haitian. They're also undocumented. They're also told to work in major factories that, of course, now get to lower the cost of labor. This is why business owners are ecstatic. They're very happy because if you import a whole bunch of people into a small town, now the labor force has increased dramatically, as now that town is made of 1/3 of additional workers. 1/3 of additional workers means now that you could lower the price of labor since, of course, there's less jobs available. More people are likely to take less paying jobs because of the less availability of those jobs. More people, less jobs. Supply and demand economics proves automatically that the cost of labor, the cost of jobs, the amount that companies will pay individuals have gone down dramatically. Now, the inverse also happens to, of course, housing that is becoming more expensive in the region, and also things like car insurance, which makes sense. And these are the types of policies that were cheerleaded and promoted on by Kamala Harris that, of course, guts and destroys not just the middle class, but the lower class of the United States that is finding it more and more difficult to make ends meet. This as Kamala Harris finally just put up some kind of policies on her campaign website, as the majority of them are dedicated towards Donald Trump. And again, if you look at economic political leadership, the Democrats have been in charge for the past 12 out of 16 years. They have led to the current economic circumstances that we are all dealing with right now, as of course Donald Trump is a perfect, he added to the debt as well, sure. But when you look at the larger kind of perspective, Democrats are the ones leading the charge, especially when it comes to printing and spending money out of thin air, and of course giving it to the future Democratic voters that they are literally importing into this country. This has Kamala Harris still, for some reason, is acting like a cheerleader for the middle class when her immigration policies absolutely gut and destroy their possibility of survival. All of this as there still is a government shutdown looming over these very specific issues that are absolutely important. This as the Republicans are trying to push forward a bill that would prevent non-citizens from voting that the Democrats are fighting. Yep, you heard that correctly. And now let's get to this cat lady, as of course the Daily Dot is reporting this. This story is false, mainly because this woman lived in the United States for 6 years. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do? Her taking someone's pet and literally family-friendly show here. We got to be careful because the details here are absolutely grotesque. The video, again, we made sure we only played a portion of it that doesn't show any of the disturbing parts here. But this person took someone's pet, took its life in a very gruesome way, and then started to eat it. That's a major issue. Who cares how long she's been in the United States? I don't care if she's been in the United States for 6 months or 6 years. What does that have to do with the story? As of course, that doesn't make it false. And again, this is their issue. The only real problem, the woman has lived in America for the past 6 years. Who cares? This is still a major tragic issue that a lot of people are, of course, emotionally responding to since they automatically think of their own pets. Imagine if your tax dollars paid for an individual that came over and did these horrible, unspeakable things to your pets, is what a lot of right-wing kind of talking points are being shared around wildly. And that is a legitimate emotional issue that a lot of people are running with. It's a disturbing story. It's a story that is absolutely troubling and probably highlights a larger conversation on someone's mental health or potential substance abuse problems that could have been involved here. As we have to understand that there are multiple of these particular types of stories also unfolding in Europe, where there are videos showing some really awful actions also taking place in the streets of Italy. This video that we are not going to play for you back in 2020, specifically showing migrant roasting up a cat in the middle of the street. and then later eating it. And again, things like this do happen. There's also other reports of Haitians illegally decapitating ducks from parks and then eating them as well, as ducks are pretty tasty. But, not something that you want to kind of see at your day in the park, as residents are literally saying how people go up to these ducks, behead them in the middle of the park, and then take them away. And, that's not something you expect to see when you're kind of relaxing on the grass in a beautiful park. There's ducks quack, 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 walking around, swimming with their little babies. And then you hear quack, and boom! The duck's filleted. Blood gushing everywhere. And it's like, ah! Paid for by your tax dollars and the Biden-Harris administration. And again, there's a lot of these reports. We won't be playing all of them here, as of course now there's a lot of memes galore with Donald Trump slamming to the kitties with this AI generated photo with what looks like two men trying to steal the cats from him. There's another one here highlighting this Haitian barbecue, as of course we had another specific conversation about a warlord in Haiti named Barbecue, that there was a lore of him eating his victims and barbecuing them. And there are actual videos of other people committing cannibalism inside of Haiti as well. That's a real thing. It does happen. Now, whatever your opinion might be about the Haitians, whether you like them or you don't like them, I think it's fair to say that a lot of bad people are gaming the system. That doesn't mean all people from that particular country are bad. There needs to be some nuance. There needs to be some real, honest, legitimate conversations about this thing. But to have an open border policy that, of course, doesn't vet any of these people, doesn't even identify them and gives them special protections, and then uses your tax dollars in order to galvanize a larger Democratic future base in this country is, in my opinion, criminal. And if you agree with that, share this video with your friends and family members, as, of course, we have moved away from caring and considering the middle class, the lower class, that are the biggest victims of these policies that are absolutely being screwed over. Don't get screwed over, get smart, and also don't forget to sign up to lookunfiltered.com, where you could sign up for just $8 a month, and you get on the ground very special reports just for members. We're going to have a very special report right after this video just for members of lookunfiltered.com as we return to this YouTube channel in just a few hours from now, as we are going to be doing a special live broadcast 6 p.m. Eastern here. And tomorrow, we, of course, return 8 p.m. Eastern with a special live stream of the presidential debates that we will be watching and commentating on with Alex Jones and Roger Stone. So stay tuned for that special broadcast. As, of course, members of lookunfiltered.com get the ability to call into the show and ask us whatever they want. You could be a caller. You could be a part of our show just by signing up to lookunfiltered.com. Then you get access to a lot of really cool things, too many to mention here now, but also a Telegram channel. You get on that Telegram channel. I'm in that Telegram channel. I tell you when I'm live. I talk to you, and then I ask you if you want to call in. You call in, and then you get to ask and be a part of the show in any way, shape, or form. This is something that I really like. This is something that's been really fun. You could be a part of it right now just by simply signing up to lookunfiltered.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Your support is more crucially important than ever. You getting involved, you participating, you helping us get the amount of resources to build and expand is critically important. I have a lot of projects I want to do. I have a lot of videos I want to do. I want to do short form kind of documentaries. I want to do travel on the ground reporting. And I can't, because I can't afford it. I could afford it if you guys sign up, and I will promise I will spend every single last cent working my butt off to provide you the best on the ground information that I can. Your participation is more important than ever, and I hope to see you there for a special broadcast right after this one on lookunfiltered.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys signing up, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.